Imagine you were never taught how to breathe because you didn't have to be. Imagine a time before thoughts, before fear, before even your first heartbeat as an individual. That place wasn't a dream. It was real. You lived there, in total stillness, in absolute connection, inside the womb. There, your breath wasn't through lungs. You didn't inhale. You didn't exhale. And yet, you were fully alive. Energy flowed through you like an eternal current, pure and uninterrupted. That state is not lost. It can be reactivated. This is what the Taoist masters called embryonic breathing. Not metaphorical, not symbolic. A real technique. One that bypasses shallow, surface-level breath and returns you to your original rhythm, the rhythm of creation itself. But modern breathing is broken. From the moment we're born, we're told to take a deep breath. But deep breathing, in the way we've learned it, often reinforces anxiety. It expands the chest, lifts the shoulders, fuels overthinking, and locks us in the mind. We live in a world where breathing is loud, forceful, and erratic, just like our thoughts. The ancient path is different. It teaches us that the most powerful breath is the one that vanishes. Breath that moves so quietly, so deeply, it dissolves the illusion of separation between body and spirit. This is embryonic breathing. It originates in the lower dantian, just below the navel. It does not strain the lungs or throat. It slows the heart rate, and it calms the ego, dissolving the chatter of the mind. But here's what no one tells you. This technique was hidden, intentionally, taught only to initiates, preserved through cryptic texts and oral transmission, because whoever masters it, masters energy, not energy for show, but the core life force, the kind that heals, rejuvenates, and transforms. Right now, your body remembers how to do this. Your cells have not forgotten. What we'll do together in the coming moments is not learning, it's remembering. Like turning on a switch that was always there, just buried. In part 2, we'll reveal exactly how to begin awakening this breath. Not theory, practice, step by step. But before we go there, sit for a moment in silence. Close your eyes. Place one hand just below your belly button. Can you feel a subtle warmth, a quiet pulse? That's not your heartbeat. That's your origin calling you back. Let's begin. Not with belief, not with effort, but with awareness. Place both hands just below your navel. This is the lower dantian, your energy center, your internal battery. You were breathing from here long before you had lungs. The first step in reactivating embryonic breathing is not to breathe better, but to breathe less, and eventually to breathe without breathing. Sounds paradoxical? It is, because it bypasses intellect. Embryonic breathing is not for the thinking mind. It's a technology of stillness, a method of returning to zero. Begin with still posture. Sit or lie down with your spine straight but relaxed. Let your body fall into gravity. No tension. Let your shoulders drop. Close your eyes. Put all your attention below your navel. Now, inhale softly through your nose, but only until your belly slightly expands, not your chest. Then, release the breath. Don't exhale. Just let go. There is no force here, no sound, no shape, just an internal wave, soft, deep, natural. Pause after the breath, that moment after the exhale, where breath ceases. That's your access point. Dwell there. Stay in that pause. The longer you remain, the deeper you go into the embryonic state. This isn't about oxygen. It's about energy. In Taoist texts, it said, "He who breathes through the heels lives forever." This isn't literal. It means energy descends. True breath anchors downward, grounding the spirit. Modern breath lifts us up, into the head, into stress, into disconnection. Embryonic breath pulls us down, into silence, into truth, into the body. The breath becomes imperceptible, like mist, like fog in the early morning. At first, you might feel like you're doing nothing. That's good. The breath becomes shallower, softer. You begin to notice sensations you never felt before. A tingling in the hands or face, a sense of expansion behind the navel, warmth rising through the spine, subtle vibrations in the bones. These are not hallucinations. They're energy signatures, proof that you are reconnecting with your primal current. Remember, there is no perfect technique, only presence. You're not trying to fix your breath. You're simply allowing your original breath to re-emerge from the noise. In the next part, we will go deeper into the sealing of the breath, a technique that builds internal pressure and awakens the sleeping energy coiled at your center. But for now, remain here. Let stillness deepen, because the most powerful breath you'll ever take is the one you no longer notice. You've now entered a layer of awareness most people never touch. This is where breath becomes a bridge between the seen and unseen. The Taoists call this point the gate of return. Now we introduce the next phase, sealing the breath. This doesn't mean holding your breath forcefully. It means containing it, recycling it, turning breath inward so that it feeds your energy field rather than escaping into the world. Begin by breathing gently into your lower dantian. Let the air sink, not in your lungs, but in the space behind the navel. Once you reach that fullness, don't exhale. Instead, lightly press the tongue to the roof of your mouth. This completes the microcosmic orbit, connecting the governing and conception meridians. Now, without exhaling, seal the breath by lightly contracting your pelvic floor. It's subtle, like stopping the flow of urine, but even softer. This seals the lower gate. What you've just done is trap the internal wind. Rather than letting the energy dissipate through the nose or mouth, you're circulating it through the internal channels. This is the foundation of internal alchemy. The energy begins to swirl within, building pressure. not in the chest, but in the lower abdomen. You may feel warmth, pressure, expansion. This is the Dantian waking up. Stay with it. Breathe softly. Recycle the breath. When the urge to exhale becomes strong, don't resist, but don't obey immediately. Wait. Linger in that space. That's where transformation begins. In ancient Taoist scrolls, this phase was never written explicitly. It was passed only from teacher to student, because if misused, it could destabilize the mind. But used correctly, it becomes the seed of light. With consistent practice, something strange begins to happen. You stop needing as much oxygen. Your body runs more on qi than air. You become quieter inside. And then, for a brief moment, you disappear. Not to the outside world, but to your ego. There is no you. There is only breath. There is only energy. And if this resonates with you, if this path speaks to something ancient within you, then stay with us. This journey is just beginning. Subscribe and activate the bell, not just to follow us, but to follow yourself back home. At first it feels subtle, almost too subtle to notice. You begin to sense a quietness in your lower abdomen, a gentle warmth that wasn't there before. But then, your body starts to change. The breath becomes shallower, but your energy increases. You wake up with more clarity, less fatigue. Your thoughts slow down, not in a dull way, but like the noise has been turned off. Food tastes sharper, light feels softer, time no longer rushes. This is the effect of embryonic breathing on your Shen, your spirit. In Taoist alchemy, there are three treasures: Jing, essence; Qi, energy; and Shen, spirit. Embryonic breathing builds Qi by protecting Jing, and Qi nourishes Shen. You are not just becoming calmer. You are becoming more you. Your nervous system begins to rewire. This isn't magic. It's physiology meeting consciousness. The vagus nerve activates. The parasympathetic system takes over. You heal, not from outside in, but from inside out. And something strange happens in your awareness. You begin to feel your breath outside your body, as if the air is breathing you, as if the boundary between inside and outside has blurred. This is the field awakening, the Wei Qi, or protective energy layer around your body. Animals sense it, children feel it, but adults lose it in the rush of thought, tension, and stress. Embryonic breathing brings it back. You may feel vibrations down your spine, heat in the soles of your feet, tingling at the top of your head, a wave of release through your chest, without a single exhale. These are not side effects. They are signs that your breath is no longer just physical. You are reactivating the energy body. Some traditions call this the light body. Others call it the etheric double. Taoists knew it as the immortal embryo, the part of you that never left the womb of the universe. But here's the paradox. The less you try, the more it grows. This is not a technique to master. It's a rhythm to remember. In the next part, we'll explore the real goal of embryonic breathing, not just energy, not just peace, but transformation of identity itself. Until then, continue your practice in silence, not for results, but to return. Return to the place where you were never separate to begin with. What if who you think you are is just a side effect of noisy breathing? When the breath is chaotic, the mind is chaotic. But when the breath disappears, so does the false self. This is the hidden promise of embryonic breathing. Not just peace, not just energy, but dissolution. As you continue the practice, your inner dialogue begins to fade. The constant self-narration, the looping thoughts, the anxious projections, they quiet down. Not because you're forcing silence, but because there's no one left to talk. You begin to realize something unsettling and liberating. Most of what you called me was actually breath patterns, muscle contractions, and tension loops. As the breath dissolves, those patterns unravel, and in the gaps between them, you find what the sages called the original face, the you that exists before any name, thought, or form. Embryonic breathing turns breath into stillness, and stillness into awareness. You're not just observing life, you're observing existence itself. You begin to notice awareness beyond the skull, emotion without identity, movement without intention, being without effort. This is not detachment, it's embodiment. You're not leaving the body, you're returning fully into it. Every cell becomes aware, every breath becomes sacred. In deep states, the breath stops completely, and yet you are fully alive, more alive than ever, not breathing air, but being breathed by the universe. This is the embryonic state. No inhalation, no exhalation, no separation. And here's the deeper layer few talk about. When you stay in this state long enough, a shift occurs in how you see others. You begin to sense their breath, their energy, their inner sound, and you no longer react to their words or faces. You respond to their vibration. Your empathy sharpens, your intuition deepens, not as a skill, but as a byproduct of presence. This is why true masters seem calm, even in chaos. They don't control reality. They've stepped out of reactivity entirely. In the final part, we will explore what this all leads to, the return to origin, where breath, self, and universe are no longer three. There comes a moment in this journey when you realize you were never breathing. You were being breathed. The air was never just air. It was memory. It was code, a carrier of signals from the infinite into the finite. As embryonic breathing deepens, the separation between you and life begins to dissolve. Breath is no longer something you do, it is something you are. A wave, a rhythm, timeless, originless, unbound. This is why the ancient masters said, "Before birth, there was breath, but no breather." Let that land. Breath existed before lungs, Energy moved before thought. Awareness was present before identity. What you are now doing through this practice is reversing the fall. You are walking backward through time, not in years, but in layers, peeling off the masks, stripping away the noise, until nothing remains but the embryo of light, the original blueprint of your being. This embryo is not physical, it is energetic, and when awakened, it becomes your second birth, not as a child of society, but as a being of essence. This rebirth is silent. No one will see it, but you will know, because your breath will vanish. And in that stillness, you will meet yourself for the first time. And from that place, life becomes simple. You no longer chase energy, you generate it. You no longer fight time, you flow with it. You no longer fear death, because you've touched what cannot die. Now the question is not how to breathe, but who is the one that breathes. So I leave you with this. If your breath was never truly yours, then who or what has been keeping you alive all along?